Published 2047 EDT, the 21st of October 2017. Updated on 942 EDT, the 22nd of October 2017. The Beale family was thrown into turmoil by Jane's Lori Brett's unexpected departure from the square on Friday, with no answers as to where or why she has left. But it seems that Ian Beale Adam Woodyatt will blame himself for his wife's departure in next week's EastEnders, after a chilling voicemail warned him that no one can be trusted. Pictures from Monday's episode see Ian admitting to Jane's mum Kathy Gillian Tailfreight that it's his fault she left, despite the real reason being far more sinister. Scroll down for video. Crisis. EastEnders. Ian Beale Adam Woodyatt is thrown into turmoil next week after Jane's Lori Brett's unexpected departure. In the pictures, Ian can be seen admitting that he feels responsible for Jane's departure after he originally refused to leave the square with her. Fans were left on tenterhooks leading up to Jane's exit, wondering whether she would succumb to sinister Max's Jake Wood demands in an attempt to protect her family. Social media erupted with outcry as Jane did exit the square, although it left several unanswered questions in the lurch. It is unclear whether Ian received Jane's desperate voicemail as she drove away from Albert Square in a taxi, warning him not to trust anyone. Trouble in scene set to air on Monday. Ian tells Jane's mum Kathy Gillian Tailfreight that it is his fault Jane left, despite there being far more sinister reasons. The East London businesswoman jumped in a taxi and fled Albert Square after Max threatened to make her whole family suffer if she didn't follow his manipulative commands. When Ian failed to pick up his phone as it buzzed in his coat pocket at her leaving party, Jane left a message and said, "Oh God, Ian, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I had to leave like that. I had to fake it. This is going to sound crazy, but we were being watched. I don't exactly get what's going on, but I don't know who we can trust. I'm so paranoid. Listen, I will ring you tonight. Don't speak to anyone until I've called you. I'll explain everything I know, I promise." Tense. EastEnders fans were still in a state of shock on Friday evening when Jane Beale, pictured, was forced out of Walford in a desperate effort to protect her loved ones. No choice. The East London businesswoman, played by Lori Brett, jumped in a taxi and fled Albert Square after Max Jake Wood threatened to make her whole family suffer if she didn't follow his manipulative commands. "But listen, I still love you. I do love you." Max has been taking revenge on various neighbors since he was released from prison after serving time for the murder of Lucy Beale, for which he was wrongly convicted. Many viewers expressed their devastation at seeing Jane leaving Walford in such a distressing manner, with Max watching her every move to make sure she truly left town. One said, "If that was Jane's last episode, then that was an appalling sick exit. She better come back." Distressing. When Ian failed to pick up his phone as it buzzed in his coat pocket at her leaving party, Jane left a message and said, "Oh God, Ian, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I had to leave like that." Shock. EastEnders fans were left reeling on Tuesday night as killer Bobby Beale made a surprising return to the soap as Jane continued to be threatened by Max, branding another added era. "I hate Max. Hope that Jane brings him down," a third said. "Can't believe Max actually made Jane leave." Earlier this week, Max visited her hospital bedside, where she had recently woken up from a coma, and said, "When you've been discharged, you're going to leave Walford for good." At first she refused, but Max squeezed her hand painfully hard and said, "If you don't, Jane, I'm going to see to it that you, and everyone that you love, suffers." Danger. In a video on Max's phone, Bobby warned his stepmother what Max could do to her should she not meet his demands. What next? Fans will have to wait and see whether Jane convinces her husband Ian to stay in Walford while she leaves the square for good. Max forced Jane to split up with her husband Lane as part of his plan to get her out of Walford without any friends or family by her side. Despite trying to refuse nasty Max's demands, Jane finally gave in when her tormentor showed her footage of someone waking up her son Bobby in his youth detention center as he serves his sentence for killing his sister, Lucy, before terrorizing him. Not all viewers were sympathetic to Jane's plight, though, noting that perhaps she could have found a way around Max's sickening threats. Distressing. Bobby's safety hangs in the balance after Max's threat. Nasty Max above has been taking revenge on various neighbors since he was released from prison after serving time for the murder of Lucy Beale, for which he was wrongly convicted. Owen said all Jane needed to do was tell Ian exactly what's going on with Max and pretend they were splitting up. "This is so daft." Another added, "This whole Max storyline is irritating me. Why would Jane not tell Ian?" While a third said Jane could literally just say, "Max is behind all this and he's threatening our son in prison. It would take 7 seconds." Shock. Jane has only just woken up from a coma, pictured in hospital as she's visited by Elaine and Sharon Mitchell.